In this problem, we're supposed to find sine and cotangent by using the given information to construct a reference triangle. I know that tangent is negative. There's an acronym that'll help us that we learned yesterday. Class, tell it to me. Ready, set, go. And basically that tells us where the trig functions are what? Positive or negative? Positive. All the trig functions are positive. Sine and its reciprocal cosecant are positive. Tangent and cotangent are positive. That means the other four trig functions are negative. And then cosine and secant. Put your finger on where tangent is negative. You should be putting your finger in these two locations. The reason why it's not in these two because it is positive, and we're not looking for positive, we're looking for negative. Class, what does greater than 0 mean? So we're looking for where cosine is positive. Put your two fingers where cosine is positive. That'll be here and here. In class, the only quadrant that has where cosine is positive and tangent is negative is quadrant. You should be working in quadrant 4. Raise your hand if you got that. Now I'm going to use the clues. The clues tell me that tangent of theta is negative 1/2. Tangent is which two letters out of x, y, and r? Y over x. Pay attention. The negative sign is kind of in between. You're not quite sure which one is negative. But if I think about it, on the x values, where am I going to have to go to draw my triangle? To the right. Right is what? Positive or negative? And then the y value, where do I do to draw a triangle in quadrant 4? I go down. That means your y value is what? Negative. So the answer is negative 1 over positive 2. Again, when you write fractions in the negative sign, it's in the middle. It is helpful for us to recognize where the negative sign is. If there was an R letter, the R letter is always what? Always positive. Let's go ahead and draw a triangle down here. Not drawn to scale, which means I have graph paper, but it's not drawn to the numbers. Make sure your triangle is part of the bow tie. There is my reference angle theta. My y value is negative 1. My x value here is 2. I need to solve for an r value. Cole, to solve for the r value, I have to use, which is?
R squared equals x squared plus y squared.
R squared equals 2 squared plus negative 1 squared. So I get 4 plus 1. R squared equals 5. Take the square root. R is equal to plus or minus radical 5. Class, which one am I going to pick? The positive, right? Because the R value, radius, is always positive. From here, then I can just use the different trig functions. Jesus, sine is which two letters?
Sine?
Yes. Numbers?
Negative 1 over radical 5.
Is that your final answer?
No.
How do I simplify?
By 1. Multiplied by 1.
Which is?
Radical 5 over 5.
Go ahead and simplify.
Negative radical 5 over 1. Or negative radical 5.
Over?
1.
Huh?
5.
5. And that negative sign you can write in line with the fraction line. Raise your hand if you got negative radical 5 over 5 for sine. Cotangent. Alexa. Where is he? There you are. Letters? X over Y. Numbers? Simplify that. -2. Let's double check our answers with the acronym. I know I'm working in quadrant 4, tangent should be negative because cosine and secant are all positive. That means all the other 4 trig functions, including tangent, sine, and cotangent, are all negative. So most students usually get all the numbers correct. They usually mess up on simplifying and then the positives and negatives.